we have a massive list of videos to do today, friends. So let's do it. Let's do it. Hello, my intelligent friends, and welcome back to Tea and Lit. Do I feel too close to you? I feel like I feel too close. Hello, all of my intelligent friends, and welcome back to Tea and Lit. I have a series of videos that I want to film today. We are going to be talking about dark academia. So I already did one video, what is dark academia? But then I thought, you know what? We should elaborate more and turn it into an entire playlist of videos. I just want to let you know ahead of time that I've got my brother in that room drinking and playing D&D with his friends. I've got my mother in that room on and off the phone with my aunt, and I have my windows open. So if it's hard to hear me, I'm sorry. And if we have to edit this, we will do that. Are my glasses causing glare and disturbance? I will take them off. So this video is going to be dark academia types. So dark academia is just one. There's a bunch. Light academia, romantic academia, classic academia. So many. So we're going to talk about them today. Grab yourselves a cuppa and let's go. So I've already done a video explaining kind of what dark academia is and a little bit of how I found it. The next one is going to be classic academia, and this is sort of an umbrella expression in some circumstances to describe all of the various types of academia aesthetics, but also it can be used to describe the aesthetic that is mostly related to antiquity studies or classical studies. So people who really love the works of Homer, or people who spend a lot of time looking at sculptures of the ancient Greeks and the ancient Romans, they may be considered classic academics, and their color palette tends to be a little bit more light than the classic dark academia, I said classic, but I didn't mean it as classic academia. I meant it as classic, you know? Stop talking. Next up is art academia. To transition from classic academia, let's talk about art academia. Art academics spend a whole lot of time in museums, a whole lot of time in museums discussing art, looking at art of all various types. Paintings and sculptures and sketches, all of the arts, the fine arts, we'll say. Not necessarily the performance arts, because there's a theater academia that we'll get to, but the fine arts, we'll say. And they're very much inspired by the different periods of art. So think Romanesque art or the Renaissance art, and they will take these inspirations from works of art and include them into their aesthetic, either in their home and workspace or in their clothing style. Think Think Romanticism and Baroque. Ramoque. Ooh, let's start a new one. Ramoque. Next is darkest academia, and it basically just takes dark academia and puts it up a couple of notches. Am I recording? Do I do this every day? Don't worry, I am. And it's darker in terms of its aesthetic, but it's also darker in terms of the themes that it works with. So think works with suicide in them, or works with really egregious murders in them. Darkest academia does not shy away from some of the darker themes that can exist in literature. When I think of darkest academia, I think of candelabras and skulls on desks. Next is fairy academia, which I thought was super cute. It almost gives me a cottagecore dark academia vibe, but it's more inspired by Victorian and Edwardian era childhoods, and so it's very connected to nature, but is also a little bit lighter than dark academia would be. It's not so much exactly light academia, which is 2 on my list from now. In the terms of its color palette, it may kind of connect with it, but I think it's going to include a lot more flower colors, pastels, and maybe some jewel tones than what light academia might include. Next up is Grey Academia. This one I thought was really interesting to read about because one of the things about Dark Academia is that it presents as very elitist and pretentious. And I can see why. But Grey Academia is a little bit more inclusive and what's the word? What's the word in English? I saw that somewhere, that you should say what's the word in English because it makes you sound multilingual. I'm minorly good at Spanish. Clearly you can't speak English. And I know enough Italian to get myself through. What is the word that you can grasp Grey Academia a little bit better than you can grasp some of the other academia styles. Grey Academia is inclusive for LGBTQ people, it is inclusive for minorities, and it's a little bit more intentional about reading books written by women or books written by ethnic minorities or religious minorities. Next up, as promised, is Light Academia, which seems to be like the opposite side of the coin of Dark Academia, specifically in terms of the aesthetic itself, not so much in the content. So light academics will wear lighter colors, think grays and camels instead of blacks and browns. And they just present a little bit, I would say probably more approachable. I feel like if I were walking down the street and a dark academic was there and a light academic was there, the light academic would be a little bit less intimidating to approach, I think. Think lighter colored leathers, not so much black leather. But I think in terms of like the content studied, it's probably about the same. I hear someone moving.
Color change. Purple 2.0, dude. You're not ready.
I think that's Dad. Next is Romantic Academics, and they are very much inspired by Baroque period works of art. And, you know, they spend a lot of time probably reading books by Jane Austen and kind of, I don't know, a little bit more romantic. Not really my personal style. I've got Sense and Sensibility here. We will be talking about this soon, so if that video is available, I will post it for you. I don't really love romanticism. That's just me. Next up is the Scholarly Academic, and you can spot this academic by impeccable notes and an extravagant vocabulary. As you can tell, vocabulary is not my thing. I feel like it is sometimes. It's like when I get in front of these videos, I don't know English anymore. I promise I can speak the language. But scholarly academics spend a lot of time in the library, and they're not so much huddled in their rooms or in their corners the way some other academic aesthetics are. They're a little bit more out in the open and available. Next up is Theater Academics. As mentioned, Theater Academics will be quoting Shakespeare for everything. I am reading right now If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. This very much gives me not only Dark Academia vibes, and it was read for the Dark Academia book club, but also it gives me Theater Academia vibes. They basically just speak Shakespeare to each other, and that's all. Theater academics don't just do Shakespeare, but all of the performing arts, so you also have things like dance and music, and are very much inspired by works presented on stages, whether that is plays or orchestra or whatever. Next up is Witchy Academics, and this includes a lot of themes of like folklore and mythology, and I actually don't really like that term mythology, but we'll probably talk about that in a future video, my feelings on the word mythology. Celtic myths, Greek myths, Roman myths, I really don't care for that at all. Anyway, that's beside the point. Magic or Witchy Academia, I have to sneeze. Everybody's so loud. Excuse me. So yeah, Witchy Academia works inspired by witchcraft and does their studying with particular candles and things like that that are a little bit more witchy in topic. Next up is Fantasy Academia. This is very closely related to Witchy Academia in that they both work with folklore and mythology, but also Fantasy Academia is going to work with more fantasy elements of literature and read lots of fantasy literature. Finally is Pastel Academia, and it seems to be kind of inspired by Japanese culture in terms of the color palette. You can see lots of like light purples and light pinks and light blues, and be, what's the word? Take a sweeter approach to dark academia. That's what I'll say of Pastel Academia. They are so loud, everybody in my house. I really shouldn't be filming this at 8 o'clock at night when everybody's awake. That was a bad choice on my part. Anyway, these are the different types of academia aesthetics for you to check out, do some Googling on, spend some time on Tumblr or Pinterest or wherever, TikTok, to figure out which one you find most affiliates with your personality type and your interests. This is the second video in the Dark Academia playlist, so I will link the other ones somewhere around here, and I will catch you guys next time. Please, in the comments below, I would love to know if you know of any other academia aesthetics, or describe any of the ones that I mentioned here in a little bit more detail, and which one you most closely affiliate with. I do think the regular old dark academia aesthetic is the one that works best for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.